Hello and welcome to the walkthrough of my code for my final year project, IPD. To start with, this is my main app.py backend file. This, as you can see, is importing OpenAI, JSON requests, and most importantly, Flask, which is my backend system in place of something like Node. I've decided to go with Flask because I had heard good reviews about it. I'm also importing additional parts from Flask, such as SQL Alchemy and Cores, as well as some of their login systems. And then I'm doing password hash from Werkzeug Security. I think that's how it's pronounced. In here, I've got a simple setup for the app and database with a note just saying change my secret key for Flask to something much stronger for production, obviously. I also have my Open API key sort of out in the open here, which I'll also be using probably a hash table to sort of hide and keep it more secure. Here are my simple models for users, results, and my login manager. Yeah, they're to be honest just simple Python defining the variables ID, username, password, results, and then ID, data, and user ID. The ChatGPT recommendations function then follows suit, where I simply define it. And then this is my actual prompt. You are an AI assistant that recommends cars based on their preferences with budget, car type, fuel type, and condition. This is a pretty simple prompt. For the final project, I've been testing quite a few different prompts to sort of further refine this, not only to give it some more character, but also to get it to do things like currently when I run it, I give it a max budget and it operates within that budget, but I want it to be closer to the high point of said budget. So doing some simple prompt testing there. I've got things down here for the data of the ChatGPT, such as the max tokens, and then the AI temperature, which sort of directs how creative versus how logical it is. And then down here is the actual responses. It's using ChatGPT v1 chat completions, which is a super simple way to get it to sort of give you a proper response based on an input. So yeah, simple error handling, just saying failed to generate recommendations. And then for the actual error handling internally, I'm just using the built-in terminal when running it. Simple routing for the quiz and recommendations. Going through, this is about if the user is authenticated, obviously, for attempting in future to store the question answers in a proper SQLite database. And then going down, account system routes using query parameters for messages. Basically, this is just for the login system. Enter your username and password, ensuring that the user has actually entered a username and password. Simple hash table for the password encryption. And registration. This currently is stuff I've all tried and tested, but unfortunately it's not fully implemented, as it works a lot better when using Jinja for hosting this on an actual web server or on a local server, and I'm finding I'm having a lot of issues running that in localhost, which is something that will be sorted for the final project. Routes for viewing and deleting results, sort of exactly as expected. Converting stored JSON strings back to objects for display. Get all the results for the current user. Again, basically to do with future account settings. And then yeah, at the bottom, just running the app with debug set to true, just so that I can keep an eye on any errors. Super simple about page, just my navigation bar and coming soon. Same goes for the contact page, where I'll enter a feedback form. here is my JavaScript. Going through, here's where I define my questions, and just sort of defining the actual things such as slider value, budget value, the container, the buttons, that sort of thing. This is an error I'm having where I'm setting the href, the navigation list item, to be the current one. I run into errors with that, so that's going to need some adjusting later on. Simple code just to actually display the questions with the slider container, the next button, just super simple JavaScript to allow the user to actually see the questions they're asking. And then, of course, just followed by a sort of next question. Slider step progression for the budget slider. I have steps along the line, as you can see here. Less than 10,000, it's steps of 100. Less than 50,000, it's steps of 1,000. And less than 150,000, it's 10,000. And then anything beyond that is 50,000. Super simple, but makes it much more usable than entering actual raw digits. Here is the hiding of the quiz and then displaying the actual results. So sending the results off with just a simple message saying it's processing. And then getting the actual response here from ChatGPT. And then going through and actually storing it as well. And then building a simple results HTML page to give you that basic result and then sort of copy it over. And then, as I mentioned here, a simple USD budgeting, which will be changed for GBP for the final. And then going through quickly, contact. Here's index with the slider span. Super simple login. Lots of placeholders that will be fully built out later. And then results.html, which does have some inline JavaScript for loading and displaying previous results from local storage. Again, simply trying to build that out in my SQLite databasing. And then some simple CSS. So let's run this. If I go ahead and run the backend. There we go. And then I shall get index.html open with live server and drag it over to be seen. Right. So here's my simple slider. Go ahead and set that for an example to $51,000 for a sports car. And let's say I'm looking for gasoline and I prefer new. Processing. And then simple ChatGPT output. Again, simple things giving me the horsepower, the vehicle name, read reviews, which if I click that, occasionally I have AI hallucination errors. Unfortunately, that is a very common problem with AI at the minute and is something I'll have to work on developing in future. Previous results. Here is my implementation where it takes that results page and dumps it into here with the ability to go through and delete previous results. That all functions sort of as expected. There we go. As you saw, I'm able to go through and start deleting a couple of those from testing. My about page and feedback page just coming soon, and then login and register. So as I mentioned, these are not fully functioning yet. So if I do admin and password, just to demonstrate and hit register, I just get a simple JavaScript box that says it's currently not implemented. So there we go. There is a simple code and testing overview of the project itself. Thank you.